Hello, boys and girls, and welcome to the show. And guess what I found? Guess what I found? Here's a clue. Can you hear that? Those of you that listen to the show will have to guess what that is. Those of you that watch the show will know what I have found. Yes, boys and girls, the green watering can has appeared. Oh, it's like a musical instrument. I am holding in front of me a large green, how many litres is it? Hang on a minute. 1 minute. 10-litre watering can, which, if you were listening to a previous show, you will know that I thought had been stolen. Boys and girls, I don't know how I'm going to be able to sleep at night or live with myself by accusing people of Bracknell. No, not only people of Bracknell, but neighbours of myself. I accused someone of stealing my green watering can. No one in particular. It could have been anyone in Bracknell. Anyone in Bracknell it could have been. Because I couldn't find my green watering can come new instrument. Isn't it marvellous? I never knew a watering can could double as an instrument. Do you remember that film, The Vikings? The Vikings. My mum used to sing that. The Vikings. La 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 la. Do you know that film? And they had this, like, long horn. Musical, pardon? It was a very long, large horn. Pardon? It was. And they used to play it. How marvellous. But, as I say, I did blame... Shall I display it on my table? Look at that. I've displayed it on my table. Oh, it's looking rather marvellous. My large green watering can. I've had this for years, dear. And it does have a sprinkler, but I take it off. No, I do feel I need to display this while the show's on today, because we're very, very happy. Let me stand it so that the spout is pointing in an erect position towards the camera. You can, of course, watch this show as well as listen to it if you have a computer. Very simple. Just go to unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk and there you'll see all the shows there, okay? unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, and you'll see the little videos there. If you want to watch this particular show and you're listening to it, then you'll need to find the show... Oh, Chris, hang on a minute. What's the date? I can't remember what date this show is now. What's the date today? Oh, dear. Oh, hang on. No, I've got a calendar up there. Oh, hang on. 22. It's 15, 16, 17, 18, 22. Thursday, the 22nd of... What is it? October 2009. All right? Thursday, the 22nd of October 2009. That would be the date of the video that is connected. I know it may not be the date you're listening to this, but that's the date that this show is titled, okay? Thursday, the 22nd of October 2009. I wonder what year it is. Funnily, talking about that sort of thing, I wonder what year it is for you at the moment. How long do these shows hang around on the internet, I wonder? You know, are you watching this in 3 years' time, perhaps? Are you watching or listening to this in 10 years' time? Are you watching or listening to this in 100 years' time? Is it 2199 where you are now? Is that 100 years' time? 2009, 2000... No, is it 2000... The year 2109 when you're watching or listening to this show. How weird is that? Because, of course, I'm not here now. If I was still here, I'd now be 146. What a strange thought. And you know what? That's something I've never ever thought about while I've been doing these shows. And there are a lot of other podcasters and people on YouTube who do their own stuff, just like I do, who also watch or listen to this show. We all like watching and listening to each other's shows. And I wonder, boys and girls, any of you who also do podcasts or YouTube videos, have you ever thought about that? The fact that is, you know, when you're dead and gone, as my nan always used to say that, oh, you'll miss me when I'm dead and gone. Yeah, we all miss everyone when they're dead and gone. But have you thought about that, my fellow podcasters and video people? That someone could actually be watching or listening to your show when you're gone. What a strange feeling. Do you think the entertainment kind of things will have changed by then? Will people expect something perhaps much more outrageous? What a strange feeling. Let us know your thoughts on that one. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Feel free to join in the show at any time, all right? It's always great to hear from you. Even if you haven't got much to say, you might want to say, hello, Chris, like a show. I'm, I don't know, Mark in Iceland, whatever. And send it through, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. So once again, found the washing, there's another story there. Found the watering can. I can play my tune on it. I found the washing, not the washing machine. Why do I keep calling that a washing machine? I know why I keep saying washing machine. I'm coming to that. Don't rush me. Don't rush me. Yes. Found the watering can. It was, as my friend Ron told me, look in the shed. I looked in the shed and I saw the watering can. I thought, oh my God, I've just blamed my neighbours and could have been anyone else in Bracknell for stealing my watering can when actually I had misplaced it. And I'm very, very sorry if you, the accused, felt that you... Oh, I'm going to be taken to court now, aren't I? I'm going to be taken to court by everyone in Bracknell for deformation of character. That's a good one here. Deformation of character. I'm going to be taken to court, boys and girls. But don't worry, United Kingdom Talk television cameras will be there to cover the event. I'm sorry. All right? I'm sorry that I blamed people of Bracknell for stealing my green watering can. Please, can I be forgiven? So it was my friend Ron that told me to look for my can, watering can, in the old shed. How stupid I am. Now, news on Ron. Okay, my best friend Ronny. He's actually my ex of about 18 years ago. Yes. Oh, I went out with him for about a year. And then for the next 16 years... I did everything I possibly could to try and get back with him. 16 years he kept me hanging on. And then, for 2 years, I didn't speak to him because I had to do that. You know? I don't mind talking to you about it now because it's done. Do you see what I mean? But sometimes I get private emails on all sorts of different subjects. People say, please don't broadcast, but I wanted to ask you something. And sometimes they're from younger people wanting advice on relationships. Now, you have to bear in mind that my longest relationship I've ever had is about 2 years. But I do try and help if I can. And one of the things I have to say is, when something's over, you have to move on. And people often say, oh, well, can we just be friends? That will only work for one side, okay? Because if you've got two people and you split up, one side will always be hurt and want to get back with the other one. The other one, who did the splitting up usually, will be the one that can cope and wants to be friends. No, it doesn't work. It's very, very hurtful. And I have to say, for 18 years, no, not 18, but about 15 years, I held the candle for Ron. I did. In the end, I had to completely cut him off, and I didn't speak to him for over 2 years. We met up again in January. We are now best friends, and that's it. And that works very well. Okay, that has worked, because I left that big gap. Do you see what I mean? And now we're best friends. Don't get me wrong, I'd do anything for him, and him likewise for me. But that's as far as it goes. Couldn't be partners. Right? So, my advice to anyone, especially young people, when it's finished, you have to cut it off, no matter how much it hurts. Alright? You have to do that. Otherwise, you don't look at anyone else. Maybe why I'm sitting here on my own now. But, you know, it's one of those things. You learn it as you get older. Gotta cut them off, at least for a long period of time. And that's the only thing you can do. There's no point hanging on, hoping for another chance, because it's extremely unlikely that you will ever get one. All right? A little bit of advice to you there. If you ever want to send in a private email about anything at all, I'm not an expert in anything. Okay? Certainly not sitting here doing talk shows. I'm not an expert. However, I am 46. So have experienced quite a few different things in life. Even marriage. I know you might find that hard to believe. I was even married once. I've experienced so much. And I like to use my experience to help other people. If you want to send a private email about anything at all, and there's nothing that's embarrassing, okay? Nothing is embarrassing, especially as you don't know me. I've only got your email address. I don't know where you are. Anything you want to ask at all. Personal, a sexual nature, anything you want to know. I may just be able to help. I like doing that sort of thing. It doesn't matter who you are. You could be, I don't know, Mrs. O working in Tesco's. Or you could be Robbie Williams. I don't care. Comes into my head, is read by my eyes, is answered. No one else would ever see it. But of course you must put private email for your, not for broadcast, at the top of the email. Otherwise, you know, you don't, if you don't want to include it in the show. All right? Always send them through. Also, emails to the show, same email address, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Anyway, as I was saying, it was Ron who told me to look for the watering can, and I did find it. Excuse me, the cough is still hanging around, as you can hear. Can you believe? Now, Ron is a bit... He doesn't think twice, usually, about... Oh, I just banged my mirror ball. Did you hear that? Oh, my God, and the whole thing nearly came crashing down on my head. He is not a fan of cyclists. I don't know what it is, but he seems to attract cyclists towards his car. He has had his car dented and scratched by cyclists many, many times, and it's happened again yesterday, apparently. He was on his way to work, and he doesn't live far from... I mean, if I worked where he lived, if I worked and lived where he worked and lived, I would blooming well walk. Honestly, so lazy, dear. He takes the car, it's about 3 minutes. 3 minutes down the road, if that. Shocking. Shocking waste of car and fuel and all that. You know what I'm like? I don't like waste, dear. I can't stand waste. Anyway, so he's on the way to work yesterday. He's at the traffic lights. Guess what happened? A cyclist banged into his boots. Or, if you're in America, his trunk. And he's got a lovely dent and some scratches now in the back of his lovely Saab car. Again. Yeah, he was fuming. Of course, the cyclist fortunately stopped. Gave him the details and said he'd pay for it. Now, I'd be very wary about that, you know, that I'd been given a false name and address. How do you know? You don't know, do you? And once a cyclist has gone, that's it, mate. You can't find them for love of money once they've cycled off, mate. Can you? So, unfortunately, The car has been damaged again, and he's not happy at the moment. Not happy at all. I don't know what it is with that car. I've got to be honest. When I've been driving to where Ron lives, and he lives in east, sort of towards East London, very near the area of Old Street, where there's a lot of bars and restaurants. A very, very classy area, actually. There's a little club I go round there to sometimes called Chariots, which is rather nice. Nice little club. And he... Stop it now. He lives in that area. And where was I going with this now? Oh, that's it. And when I've driven to see him during the daytime, I have to also say there's an awful lot of cyclists using that road, and they are the worst cyclists I've ever come across. They're not like that round here. They just go straight through red lights. And this is not one or two of them. The majority of them go through red lights. They overtake you on the inside lane, which is so dangerous for cyclists. And it's no use saying to us motorists, well, I'm a cyclist as well, right? But I tell you what, I stop at all the red lights. Absolutely. These cyclists absolutely take their lives in their hands when they're driving sort of through areas of East London. I've never seen anything like it in my life. So dangerous. And no wonder they keep banging into his car. I try to think how many other cars are damaged in that area of London every day. The whole Old Street, there's a big, very, very busy roundabout there in Old Street as well. So I'm not surprised he's had his car damaged, but I mean, it's nothing to laugh about. But he has been wasting money again, boys and girls. He has just upgraded his phone to an iPhone. Now, he did have an iPhone before, right? But he dropped it down the toilet. How on earth you drop a phone in a toilet, I don't know, but he managed to do it. So he'd been using his old phone and rung up his phone company, which is O2, I think. And in 3 months' time, right, his contract would expire and he could get another iPhone for nothing as an upgrade. Oh, no, 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 no. Do you know what he's done? He has paid, because he wouldn't wait 3 months, he's paid the upgrade fee of £90 odd. £90, dear! That he wouldn't have had to pay if he waited for 3 more months. What a waste of money, dear. You see, I don't get it. These people have more money than sense. They really do. £90 just for the sake of not wanting to wait 3 months. Shocking, isn't it? Absolutely shocking. So there's the Ronny news. We like a bit of Ronny news, don't we? Okay, email time, boys and girls. Here come the emails. First of all, let's see who it is. Oh, it's Green Arts Lady from YouTube, otherwise known as Lisa, in California. California, here we come. And she writes, Chantel, in one of your previous videos, remember Chantel the singer who comes to the Birmingham karaoke? She says, Chantel has pretty legs but is in serious need of voice lessons. What are you saying, dear? Are you saying that our karaoke singers can't sing? I beg your pardon. All my singers are wonderful and marvellous. Yes, they are. Dear me. And she also writes, on the subject of the United Kingdom Talk video Tuesday the 13th of October 2009, she says, no offence intended, Chris, but you need more junk in your trunk. Well, I don't understand what that means, dear. What does that mean, you need more junk in your... I haven't got a trunk here in the studio, have I? Do you mean my glass cabinet that I have next to me with various artefacts? I do need some other things in that. This glass cabinet is actually going to go and be replaced by a wooden one because I have a lot of trouble with the light reflecting back at the camera in the glass. So That's got to be... I have got a wooden one downstairs, but it needs to be brought upstairs, and this one brought downstairs. And I'm waiting for my nephew and his girlfriend to come and visit me, I think either the next week or the week after, and I shall get him to assist me in pushing the other one up the stairs, because it's a bit much for poor old Chris to do, dear. Oh, it's all going. Poor old Chris. Poor old soul I am. Incidentally, my back is much better today. You know, I've slept a couple of times now, and it's almost back to normal, my back, all right? I meant to tell you, of course, also, on Sunday last week, I twisted my foot. Oh, the pain. What happened was I opened the back door to the garden, and I don't know what happened, but I kind of put my foot out, and I missed the step, and my foot twisted, and down I went on the floor. I was like one of those sad old people that you see fall over in a shopping centre. Thank God there was no one there to laugh. You know? It's not so bad falling over in a public place. It's being seen, isn't it? Why is it? Why do we hate being seen when we have something go wrong like that? Why is that? So I stayed down on the floor for about half a minute. Cursing and swearing under my breath, I did. Terrible. Anyway, after I got up, I could not move my foot to the right for pain. It was really awful. And that day, no, it was a Saturday, tell a lie, Saturday. Anyway, I went to bed in the afternoon for a couple of hours, as I usually do. Got up again, and I still, if I moved, the foot was all right. If I kept it straight out in front of me, right, it was okay. A slight move to the right, and the pain was tremendous. And I kind of hobbled into work. I got a little bit of, what's the word now? Compassion. Got a little bit of compassion out of people, which rather pleased me, really. Not the manageress, Vicky. Oh, no, dear, no. She didn't give me any compassion at all. She's all right. The manageress, Vicky, at Hammersmith Belushi's. She's only been there about 4 weeks. A mad woman. As mad as me. So we get on very well. She's just an absolute nutter. Fantastic. Aren't I lucky to be working with certain people like Vicky, like Robbie at Belushi's in London Bridge now, where I'm doing, of course, now on Wednesday nights. I'm lucky to be working for such wonderful people. Incidentally, I did the London Bridge Belushi's, the first proper one on Wednesday. That's a new karaoke night I'm doing. Every Wednesday night, Belushi's in London Bridge. There is a little charge for this one, okay? That's £3. It's the only one you have to charge for. Nevertheless, that's what it is. £3, London Bridge Belushi's, every Wednesday night between 10 p.m. and 2 a.m. I did the first one there last Wednesday, the first one proper after my trial do, and what a night. My God. And it's busy. It's full on from the moment you get there. Fortunately, they seem to have sorted out the air conditioning, so it wasn't too hot in there. But what a brilliant night. Really was. I have to warn you, if you come into that one, can get a little bit rowdy. Okay? A much younger crowd than the Hammersmith lot, and they're always up for it, always a little bit drunk. All right, so be warned. I'm not saying there's fights breaking out everywhere, because there isn't. It's just a bit rowdy, which is fantastic. It's better than sitting somewhere and being bored senseless, isn't it? Eh? Okay, just to you there, London Bridge Belushi's. Right, let's have a look here. So what does that mean? I need more trunk in my junk. I don't know what you mean there. I really don't, dear. All right, let's go to... Oh, a little message here from William, who's in Sydney, Australia. He does. He's on the radio in Sydney, actually. Friend of mine, William, who writes to Gwen, best of luck to Gwen, all the way from Sydney. I remember her well from singing at a place called the Quebec in Marble Arch. That's not one of my ones, that one. Such a lovely person. I now live in Sydney, but despite being the distance, I'm thinking of Gwen and wish her all the best. Best of luck with the concert and big hugs. Have a wonderful evening. And that's, I say, from William in Sydney. And yes, news of Gwen. As I say, I told you before, she has finished her radiotherapy now, and is having a little bit of a problem now. How can I put this? Running to the toilet, okay? and she was sick last night, but apparently these are all side effects of the treatment that she's been having. So that's the news I've got for you so far. Okay. One has to wait and see. She's got to go back to the hospital, I think, in 5 weeks' time for another scan to see how things are going. I can't give you any more news at the moment because I don't have any more news. But she is going to come on the telephone and talk to us very, very soon. All right, we'll do a whole show. It might even be the next show. I'm not quite sure where we're going to, where she can fit that in. Obviously, she can't be on the phone if she's got to keep dashing to the toilet. So we fit in with her, and that's it. All right. Talking to Gwen also, we did a concert for Gwen at Belushi's in Hammersmith on Monday night, and it was rather marvellous because when you're sitting at home and you're not well, it's the most awful thing. And anything that can be done to cheer someone up, you should go out and do. And it was a young lad called Steve, Pretty Boy Steve we call him, who comes regularly to Belushi's on a Monday night, and it was his idea to do a concert for Gwen. So what we did, we took the camera and the recording equipment down to the pub on Monday night, and we recorded a large segment of it, and I'm at the moment putting all that together, and you can see clips of that where I've separated each singer separately on the excuse me, on the Belushi's Hammersmith group on Facebook. Now, if you are one of my Facebook friends, okay, you probably have got a message from me if you want to join the Belushi's Hammersmith group. If not, then just ask me and I'll point you in the right direction. Or you can look for yourself. Just type in a search on the groups section for Belushi's Hammersmith and look for the one with the most members, and you'll find it there. Okay, that's Belushi's Hammersmith group on Facebook. My Facebook name, incidentally, is the same as my Twitter name if you want to join me on either of those, and that is Chris Reardon UK. Chris Reardon UK, my Facebook and Twitter names. All right? Okay, another email about Gwen here from Carl, who I used to work with in London, who says, "Get well soon, Gwen. Love you to bits and all the best of luck." And that's from Carl. So thank you very much for that one, Carl. And another one here from another old friend of the show, Lee Last, who does his own little bit of internet radio. Hello, Lee. He's also been trying some talk radio stuff as well, so I hope you're getting on all right with that. You don't keep me informed, Lee. You must keep me informed of how you're getting on. I've heard Gwen being mentioned countless times on United Kingdom Talk, and as such, feel inclined to pass on my best wishes. I don't know her personally, but after the mentions and stories on the podcast, I can tell that she is a very nice person, that this should never have happened to her. And he says cancer, of course, should never happen to anyone, though, should it? Well, no, it shouldn't. Where does it come from? We don't know. They know. Oh, someone knows where it all comes from. We don't, not the ordinary person in the street. And he says, I wish Gwen the best of luck with her fight to overcome this evil and dastardly illness. Best of luck, of course, with the Gwen concert, which we've done now. Hope you get the business and atmosphere you desire. Well, when you say business, I mean, as I've always said before, I'm not led by money. I get the same wages whether it's packed or empty. I don't think I am a very good businessman. I am led by putting smiles on people's faces by whatever method, okay? Whether it's DJing or doing karaoke or indeed doing this show. If I can get one person to smile, then it's all worth doing. There are people who don't like stuff I do. That's the way it is. You know, simple, turn it off, isn't it? You don't have to sit there and write a letter of complaint. Just don't watch it. Simple. But if I can just get one person to smile through some of the things I do, then to me, it's all worthwhile. So thanks very much for that one, Lee. And that's all I've got time for on the show today. As always, thanks for joining me. We're going to have to do an email catch-up show on the next show, I think, as we've got quite a few building up here. My email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Thanks for listening and watching. See you on the next one. Bye-bye now.